Hey, how are you?
A year ago, my build shop guy Matt came to me and said, "Check out Sausage Golf." I had no idea what to expect, so I had to look into it. What I found was something completely unique, a putter that allows you to explore what low torque means for your stroke. The Boudin Noir offers versatility, balance, and performance. Low torque, toe hang, and face balance in one putter. Let's hear more from Conor and Dave.
Yeah, for sure. So, Sausage Golf, bit of a weird name, right? Um, we were kind of just born out of me being curious, me wanting to design a putter for my father. Um, and for whatever reason, other people were interested. And, to give you the broad overview, you just touched on that video. That video was something I produced with my friend who I used to work with years ago in my previous career as a yacht designer. And he used to do the renders of the yachts. So I had this idea for a putter. I had this idea then for a video to show the putter. And bless him, Marco Soraka, shout out Marco Soraka, for free. He won't be free anymore, but he was free as a mate. He produced within 24 hours this incredible video that has single-handedly pretty much launched the company because it got people interested who we could have been shouting, we could have sent people putters, we could have done so much to try and woo certain content creators. But that one video alone meant that creators such as Rick Shields came over to us and asked, hey, can I have a go with your putter? And it was mind-blowing. And that video pretty much went out just as I started working with Conor. And it's been an absolute whirlwind ever since because as of us speaking right now, I think it's on like 2.3 million views and God knows how many likes. It was a crazy time. We couldn't believe it.
What a great way to get on the map. And I've noticed, if you go on your website, you guys are still sold out. So that's got to be great, right?
Yeah. It was pretty great. I was working my other job. I was away in Indonesia for a couple of months at the end of last year. And bless Conor, he when our last sale went live, he was the only person manning the fort and had to build hundreds of putters himself and put them all out. And that happened. We sold out in 2 hours last time around.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you know the scene in Jaws when they go, "We're gonna need a bigger boat"?
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
We very much had that moment, and since then we've now got a warehouse set up, and we're just waiting for the final things to fall into place. And maybe 2 weeks' time, we will be going live with our biggest event, our biggest drop yet. So we can't wait for that. It's imminent. But we wish we could have got there sooner, but we're ready. And from that point on, hopefully we'll have more stock for longer and we'll just keep it rolling and getting as many out there as possible.
Yeah.
Very cool. I mean, that sounds like that's a little bit of the right place at the right time kind of thing going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Not to mention the low torque or zero torque craze. Can you talk a little bit about your putter and the low or zero torque design that it is?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, originally design number 2 is our other model, which is our blade. And that was the first one that I designed for me and my father. And when I started designing that, I realized how expensive it was going to be to start producing them. So in order for me to justify it to my wife, when I was talking with suppliers, it turns out that the fewest amount of putters that I could build was between 5 and 10. So I got a few built, and I found there was appetite, and I managed to sell the other putters in order to fund the R&D and the material cost of the first couple of putters. And then I realized, wow, there is an appetite for this. Let's take it seriously. And it was at that moment when I kind of got tunnel vision into the industry, kind of got a bit obsessed. I'm still sucked in so deep on golf Instagram, just seeing what makes people tick. It's bad, isn't it, Conor? I'm on it all the time. But it's kind of interesting to see that the industry's changed an awful lot since I last played golf regularly. I played a lot up until I was 16. My handicap got quite low, down to single figures quite quickly. And then I stepped away from golf to just work at the weekends and follow a career. And then this is mine and Connor's pursuit now back into the world of golf. And so much has changed in the time I was away. The most relevant and exciting putter was the Yes putter.
Yeah.
So cool when I stopped playing golf, and then I come away and I find out that I think the brand still exists, but they're not quite where they used to be. And I have always been a big fan of YouTube golf, and obviously I see the emergence of Lab. And then when I start playing golf again more regularly, I see a few more of them, out on the putting green at the local golf course. So we designed the popular putter, the Boudon Noir, which is a French name for black pudding, keeping it relevant to the whole sausage scenario. I designed that.
You might have to have like a U.S. pronunciation class on that one.
The press release, I put it out with the phonetic way to say it.
That's a good thing on our side. So,
oh no, to be fair, I've lived here for 10 years. Connor's great at French. I'm not so great. But Boudon Noir is how you say it.
There we go.
And I wanted to experiment, and ultimately I came up with this system for a blade putter that suited the way my dad plays a toe hang and I play face balance. So I just wanted to build a putter that worked for the both of us. And then when I saw how the world was moving towards zero, low torque, or even like slightly toe up setups when it comes to putting, I thought, why not produce a mallet? Because the world's moving to a mallet, as we all know. Why not produce a mallet that satiates every kind of golfer? And then also as well, it initiates the curious, because there's so many people I bet out there who are willing to spend $500 on one putter, but they're not willing to put all of their eggs in one basket when it comes to zero torque, just in case it doesn't work for them. So this way, if it doesn't work for you, you can adjust it. You can send it back to face balance or toe hung. And what's brilliant, Connor's a very good putter. I'm not that good, unbelievably, as the designer. But Connor plays it toe hung. I play it face balance. And we played with a couple of lads when we were recently out in Orlando. And we gave them one just to experiment with. And he used it low torque. And it's been really great to see how it's been received in all of these different configurations. And it does seem to be almost like a 30-30. Wait, I messed up my percentages. 33 split in terms of how people use them, which is fascinating for me.
And then also when we were at the PGA show on the demo day, we were cruising around and like some people recognized our branding. That was pretty cool. And then these two guys, I can't remember where they're from now, they're pros in a golf course in America. Georgia, exactly. And the guy stopped us. It was like, please tell me one of those putters is left-handed. Because nobody here at Demo Day has bought a left-handed putter. And we literally were like, thank you. We couldn't have asked you to ask a better question, because we're like, give me 2 minutes of your time and I'm going to turn this right-handed putter into your left-handed putter. And it was just like, that was just another thing that just unlocked. That's another benefit of our product, is that we can cater, like Dave said, satiate. We can make literally every putter out there or player the putter that they need. We can play it any way that you want to play it, and in 2 minutes you can reconfigure it into something else. And what's been great is that the performance review from fitters and from players and from people that have used it have said, oh wow, this actually plays pretty well. Sometimes you have these amazing innovative products where it can do this amazing innovation, but everyone just goes back to the generic, or not, I don't say generic, but they go back to their original putter because it's got better performance. Whereas what we've kind of built, we hope, is a product that is inspiring and is different, but it actually plays pretty good too. So it's been quite fun kind of being kind of like joining Dave on this adventure. We're going to call it an adventure because it has been pretty fun, where he's managed to design this amazing product using like really high quality materials that when it's put in the hands of people who actually know what they're talking about, because Dave and we love golf, but we are not very good at golf right now. We are getting better.
I don't know. I saw Dave swing on the range at Rose and Shingle Creek. I don't know. Don't sandbag me.
There's a golfer in there. There's a golfer in there somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
At one point, yeah. Oh, that's very sweet of you to say, but I did top my first drive. I need to get that out there. My first drive.
I didn't see that one. I saw a couple good ones though. But quick question though. You brought up a really interesting thing. You said in the hands of a fitter. If your putter can be adjusted and kind of preys on the kind of like heuristic approach of learning something on your own, how much does fitting play a part for you guys as a company? Because that's all I do. I work at a fitting facility, and I've got 8 guys that work with me, and we all do around 600 fittings a year.
Well, right now, I mean, we've designed like this one product, and we're still very much at a boutique level, I'd say, in terms of the way that we manufacture. And whilst we are beginning to scale now, we are going to start to put together. We've said it a few times. We have designs in place, but they're not just quite properly executed yet. That will be fitters kits. So effectively, I have the putter here. The head is the same. It doesn't matter what scenario, the head is always the same. It's 365 grams of 6061 aluminium, or aluminum, as you guys like to say. And the one thing that you'd have to change if you wanted different lie angles is effectively a small block of aluminum that sits right there. That's like a Lego brick, relatively small. And that's the only thing that needs to be different to cater for different people if they did need a different lie angle. So what we could provide to you as a fitter is the head and let's say 10 of these different Lego bricks that you then pre-assemble into a shaft. So all you need from us is one head and 10 of these Lego bricks, and then you just attach them to your shafts, and then you could fit with minimal cost a putter to someone who doesn't know what their preferred lie angle is, or you want to check it with them without having to have some kind of like bulky adjustment tool. So that's something that we know really will play to our strengths. We just haven't got quite that far yet because at the moment we're D2C. I know that you'd maybe disagree with me, but what we found is catering for just a 70-degree lie angle seems to be satisfying most golfers, because most off-the-shelf products do seem to be around 69 or 70 degree. And that's where we're at right now. But down the line, yeah, we're gonna offer all sorts down the line. We're getting there slowly.
No, that's very cool. And then another, maybe while we're on the technical subject, is I know some low or zero torque putters off the production line that come at different head weights. I know you mentioned that was 365 grams.
Yes.
So are all of those, I know sometimes manufacturers that make zero torque putters have an issue with making all the head weights the same. Are all of those head weights at 365?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, with the Boudon Noir as it is, they are all the same weight, because let's say our thing is adjustability, and I'd love to be able to give the same head to all golfers, male, female, junior, senior, and I would love it to work for all of them, and then they can play with it. They can be, as sicko with it as they want and adjust it and load it all up. Whereas I think the majority of golfers don't necessarily want to play with that, and too many options can be quite overwhelming. I know, for example, the way that the latest, I forgot the name of the fitting system, but Cobra's latest fitting system was received, it just kind of overwhelmed people, the amount of choice, but for a fitter, I bet it's gold. I bet it's brilliant. So it's about finding that balance. And in terms of, as a designer, if you want to get into the technical side of things, weighting up something that is low torque, it's zero torque. I moved the center of gravity 2 millimeters out of the axis. So it's slightly faced up, but there's barely any bias, and you can put it in a revealer and it doesn't adjust in the slightest. It doesn't open or close or anything. It stays square. But if you were to start adding weight in the wrong place, that balance completely goes, and that vector is just completely destroyed. So There will be ways of adjusting weights, but it requires a design that's different to this one. Maybe that's one for the future, but right now, long story short, or short story long, 365 grams. That's where we are right now.
And as a caveat to what Dave said is that we've always, and Dave's always said that we are super low torque. But to claim that you are zero torque is, like you've touched on. These manufacturing plants. We're still boutique, so we handhold everything that we make, and we build them by hand. So we're getting a pretty good feel for what's going out the door. But any minor variation, if their CNC milling machine has shaved off 0.5 millimeter in the wrong place, you're no longer zero torque. So it's interesting you brought up that point, and that's something that kind of was coming out quite a lot at the PGA show. Was some people were saying, "Oh, we like the fact that you guys aren't just saying, oh yeah, it's zero torque." Everybody's saying that, but is it really? And I know that some of the big brands are getting in a little bit of trouble now because some of their products aren't satisfying that. However, some of the content creators and players that we've gifted the products to, they put them in revealers, and luckily for us, it has been pretty much zero torque. So that was a kind of heart in chest moment when they were posting that kind of content. But yeah, we passed the test, which is good.
So what is a revealer for our audience too? And I'm actually not sure how to visualize what you're talking about.
Okay. So a revealer kind of looks like a piece of medical equipment that the guys, first off, lab. I'm giving you a round of applause for those listening audio only. I think it's absolutely brilliant what they've produced. The way that Sam Hahn, I know the person who originally designed them isn't Sam Hahn, but the way that he's told that story and made it connect with the everyday golfer, and it's now worth so much and means so much to so many people. I think it's so brilliant, and it's a main drive to us. It's our main source of inspiration that these guys were able to do this just with putters. So this is what's giving us the hunger right now. And like I said, I originally designed a putter to be face balanced and toe hung, and it wasn't until I saw every other brand effectively, in the case of Odyssey, you can say copying lab verbatim with the square to square, how they copied the DF3. I'm happy to put that on file and say that publicly. They did. It's shameless, and I wanted, out of personal curiosity, to create something that was low torque or zero torque, and the revealer. Sorry, again, to circle back to that. The revealer is.
I'm going to try and show you. I don't know if this is a terrible use of technology, but is that giving you? It looks like a combination of PVC tubes, which then create a handle system. And then the putter kind of sits within that. And when you rotate through your putting swing, going back, so you've got these two tubes like this, and you're going back and forth like this, the putter, if it's in zero torque, shouldn't move. Is that correct, Dave?
Yeah. It stays square to square, as Odyssey said.
Stays square to square. So the revealer is basically a sexy way of builder's tubes all kind of stuck together. And then you can suspend the putter you're revealing within the mechanism. You connect it into the top, so the grips usually have that. So then basically the putter, if you're holding the revealer down, you're letting gravity, the putter is suspended. And then when you rotate through your swing, it stays square. That's the revealer. And I'm sure some genius is selling them online for like $200, but they are basically builder's pipe.
Nice. So yeah, you're just basically putting the putter in like a free float state just to test it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So that your heart, there's nothing there to resist torque. So that if there was, when you get to the back of the swing and you transition to start pressing it through, the weight of the putter sits directly in line with the center of gravity, sits directly in line with the axis of the shaft, so it doesn't open, close, or do anything bizarre. So you're not given mechanically any bias. Your hands do give a lot of bias, and that's something that we could maybe get into, but the idea is that you literally can't blame your putter, which I think is brilliant. I think it's commendable and incredible what they've managed to build, and it isn't going away. It really isn't going away. What putters do you guys play out of interest?
Oh, over the years. So right now I'm playing a putter called a Goodwood, which is a funny name.
I know Goodwood. Yeah, really.
Oh,
cool
do you
stuff.
really? Yeah. He's from Maryland, so that's not too far away from us. I want to say he's like maybe an hour or something like that south.
Really sick stuff. Boutique.
Yeah.
Like, low.
Beautiful
run. Like, he doesn't do that many, does he, of a specific run, and he innovates all the time. Brilliant. Yeah.
But over the years, I've played everything from the Payancer to Scotty Cameron's. I've played Cameron dual balance stuff from 2014. And like I said, in the world of fitting, I don't ever really want to fit people for something that I haven't played. It may not be for me, but I want to have some amount. I want to have some experience out on the golf course with it, because I think that that's fair. I'm not just peddling anything that comes across, my desk. So I have played zero torque or low torque stuff. I've played a lab. And I actually, at first, I'm a little old school. I was set my ways. I looked at it. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I went out, and on like the third hole, I made like a 35-foot double breaker for birdie. I was like, oh,
that's how it works.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So there's definitely truth to it. So I think that's it's great, and I think it's helped a lot of people. The one thing that I was going back to weight for 2 seconds, I thought that was interesting, because I talked to Lab out there at the show, and they brought up a good point that we perceive torque as weight in our hands. So that's kind of why I was asking, how did you land on the 365 grams? Because if you take torque out of the stroke, does that head feel lighter than 365 grams?
It does indeed. Yeah, it's a great thing that you touched on there. Face balance as well, I think it feels a lot lighter, because it is always quite surprising that the putter I used to use, and the one that I had for all those years, was a C67 G2I ping putter, center shafted thing, kind of like a neo-modern blade as a shape, but center shafted. I think one of the best putters ever, and I just kept it in my bag for God knows how many years. Well, pretty much it's the first putter I started using when I started playing in adult competitions, and never stopped. And that is actually an incredibly heavy putter, and I didn't realize. I just always assumed it was light, but because the shaft was going through so close to the center of gravity, you just don't perceive it. Whereas Conor's Boudin Noir is set up toe hung. And if I get hold of that and start playing with that, it does strike me as being slightly heavier, because you do perceive that torque. You do feel in your hands a little bit more weight as you pull it back, and a little bit more weight as you push it forward, which is kind of fun, I think. From the same putter head, the same person can experience these kind of different sensations. And also as well, when it's in the toe hung, the sweet spot is just that little bit wider as well. Because the fulcrum, the point where the shaft goes into the head, is a little bit further away from the center of gravity, so it opens up that sweet spot, and it feels just a little bit softer as well. Whereas face balance is how I have mine. With it being so close to the face, that fulcrum's so far away from the impact point, so close, to the impact point, that you get quite a bit of feedback, and you know straight away if you've middled it or not, which I like. I like a lot of feel. And then the low torque is kind of similar too, but weight is torque. Yeah, no doubt.
And kind of jumping a little around, how did you go for? I mean, I guess you kind of explained it, but I don't know if you want to get into it. But designing yachts, I mean, I'm fascinated by that. So I would like to hear a little bit about it if you're willing to.
There's got to be a good story there.
Yeah, and then how you relate maybe some of the sensibilities of yacht designing over into designing a putter. I mean, your putters are sleek, and they're really good looking. I love the black on black thing. I think it's such a good look.
Thank you.
Anything on that?
Yeah. So I studied car design at university in the middle of England, and then when I realised that I wanted to live near the sea as opposed to just an industrial estate in the center of England or Germany. I thought, hey, I'll try drawing a boat. I'll try designing boats. And luckily enough, I won an award that effectively got me a job in Monaco straight out of university or college, as you guys would say.
Oh my God.
Which was mad. You know, it sounds more glamorous than it is because I was earning minimum wage in a place where a sandwich costs the equivalent of $20. So it was hard work. It was hard work, and I've been in the south of France in that area now for 10 years. But as I spent more time here and I got more used to just my thing is 3D modeling. I sketch and I'm very good at 3D modeling, and with yachts, you have to sculpt them and you have to refine them. And then also as well, you have to so carefully consider weight, naturally, because otherwise it'd sink, center of gravity, distribution of weight. And then also as well, you have to effectively tune them so that when you're on board the boat, you're not hearing any disgusting ringing or rattling, and it's a solid, cohesive thing.
So much of that seems applicable to building a golf club. If you just are a fitter long enough, these are all things that, you know, everybody talks about. It's fascinating.
I didn't realize how well working in the yacht design industry was preparing me for just every form of design effectively. And I didn't realize that it was adding so many strings to my bow that I could take what I've learned and apply it to something completely random. And I've designed glassware since, I've designed houses since, interiors, bathtubs, faucets, lamps,
teapots,
so many things. Teapots, yeah, I showed Conor a teapot I designed the other day.
I've got to say, best teapot I've seen in a long time. Very good. And it got me thirsty.
And I just absolutely adore designing, and the thing I adore most in the world, other than my daughter and my wife, and my dog, is
and your daughter.
Yeah, no, I said my daughter. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
Is golf, and it was kind of a eureka moment where I thought, like you said, that you just touched on then, that everything that I mentioned was applicable to the world of golf. Can I swear on this podcast?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Holy shit! Why am I not designing golf clubs? And that's all she wrote. Yeah, and also as well with the yachting industry, I was fortunate enough to find an employment situation over the last 5 years that I've been working for one individual who's absolutely brilliant, and he's pushed me in all these different directions and outside of my comfort zones, and I'm so grateful for that journey I've been on with him. That it took me away from just focusing on super mega ultra yachts, because I'm not sure what lockdown was like for you guys, but during lockdown, when I was designing super yachts for people who can evade all of the rules, I kind of had a bit of that added to the whole eureka moment. I was like, I've got to move on from this. I got to find something a little bit more for myself. So here we are.
So you mentioned you designed these putters for you and your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the person who got you into golf? Like, let's step back there and like, who planted the golf seed for yourself?
Yeah, no, it was definitely my dad. My parents broke up when I was young, but every weekend I got to go and see him, and he took me to the range, or he would take me to the golf course and we'd play 18. Or I used to love playing pitch and putts as well, and we just used to have such a laugh, And I can owe it all to him. And the putter that I referenced before, the Ping, it's a horrible name, Ping C67 G2I. Google it if you want to have a look. That was he gave me that. And it meant so much to me that he gave me this putter. And that is kind of how the genesis of Sausage was. Hey, I'm going to design my dad a putter to pay him back for the putter that he gave to me when I was a kid. And it all ties in quite neatly.
Great story to connect there. That's
And the name sausage, it raised a lot of eyebrows in America. I found sausage. My surname is Rolls, and a nickname of mine over the years has been Sausage Rolls, because I'm not sure if you guys are aware, pastry with a bit of sausage meat in the middle is a very popular snack in the UK, a sausage roll. It's a tenuous link, but there you are. Sausage is the name.
And a guy that makes putters, rolls. What a good...
That would have been a good name, yeah. But I mean,
that
retrospect's 2020, isn't it? So.
No.
And it would have been too obvious, you know. It's just you got to get people thinking of like it could have been rolls, but actually it's sausage. That's that's the way. And also we've built or building a brand which you've touched on it, and it's really kind, the words that you guys are saying, and obviously your feedback is like, it's like music to our ears. It's so awesome. But like we're trying to build a brand of a high quality product, but we don't want to take ourselves too seriously. We want to have fun. We got into this game just to kind of play golf again, and there's no better reason or excuse to get time away from the young family to hit 18 holes as to no, this is work. Like I have to go play golf with Dave now. I don't want to go. I don't want to do it, but we run a business now. So you guys probably have the same excuse. You know, you just like, you know, playing golf is just it's a lifestyle. It's amazing, and it can take you to so many awesome places, meeting so many awesome people. And we've only been doing this for 6 months now, and you know we're so fortunate that we've gone from A to E. We've managed to skip like B, C, D, E, like all these other startup points. We've managed to meet the right people who enjoyed our product and have taken us so far so quickly. So it's been a bit of a blur, but yeah, it's been an amazing adventure so far for sure.
Yeah, that is so true. I mean, golf for me, golf for James is an outlet. We like, you know, after work, the best times are just walking the course after work, playing a quick 9. But right now we're covered in snow, so I'm a little cooped up right now. But I can't wait to get out there and play again. And it's opened so many doors for me. I've met James, and you know, a year ago, I didn't even think we'd be doing a podcast, and here we are. And we're meeting you guys and so many other great people in the golf world. It's just amazing.
Brilliant. I think if anyone listening or watching can make golf their life, just try it, give it a go. Because I mean, I'm loving it so far. There's no looking back, is there? So
well, hopefully not. That's why we need to. That's why we need to keep the good times coming. Keep the merry-go-round spinning. You know, we're just having a really great time. We, as an industry, obviously it's commercial. You go to the PGA show, everyone's showing their stuff, and you know, money talks, money spins. That's what turns the world, especially in corporate environments in America. However, there is a way of operating, and either, like, touch wood, it's either luck or fate, but we've only operated or interacted with people who are pretty genuine at what they're trying to do, and we haven't, you know, come across people who are disingenuous or just in it for the money. You know, obviously if somebody wants to, you know, pay us a lot of money so we can go play golf full time, that would be pretty cool. But at the same time, you know, we're working with some really great people now. One thing is, you know, we're now launching in Dubai. I'm actually based in Dubai at the moment. That's why we're on different time zones. So like as of next week, we'll be launching our products in Emirates Golf Course, Jumeirah Golf Estates. So they're 2 golf courses that host the DP World Tour Final, Dubai Hero Classic. So if you walk into one of those golf courses next week in the pro shop, you should be able to buy a sausage putter. And just like, and just the fact that in like 6 months, that's happened, it's just completely mind-boggling. So yeah, it's been a wild adventure. I met Dave in June, I think. Dave, is that right? June 25.
Yeah, speed dating.
It was a speed date. It was actually. It was like a business speed date.
No, it wasn't.
I set up. It wasn't. I set up a WhatsApp group for. This is going to sound quite sad. I'm going to get my small violin out now, but for basically for expats who live in the French Riviera who want to play golf but don't have any golfing friends.
Yeah.
So I set up. That's pretty much the summary of our WhatsApp group. It's the French Riviera Golf Society. But frogs, as we call ourselves, and because the French are generically called frogs, that's they're going to play on that. And so I've set up this WhatsApp group, invited a few people I knew, and it was basically invite friends of friends. Dave gets invited into the group, and he starts, or someone makes a joke about, "Oh, Dave, next week you should bring your sausage along." And it got like a load of laughs in the group. And obviously, I know nothing about sausage golf at this point. So I'm like, all right, okay, that's kind of weird. Who are these people? And then it kind of happens again. I'm like, okay, what's going on now? What have I started? Some kind of cult. And it got to like the third time the joke was cracked. And I just messaged Dave, like, look, mate, like, what is sausage? I gotta know what this thing is. And he sent me a picture of this like putter that he's designed. He's like, yeah, I've just designed this putter. And I just remember thinking, wow, that is like probably one of the coolest things I've seen, definitely in golf. And I was just like, at this point, I was thinking I'd love to get into golf somehow, or at least just have an excuse to play more golf. So I sent Dave a message saying, hey, like why is this not a thing? Like, why is sausage not being produced for the world? And, you know, Dave's got this other amazing job, which takes him to awesome places around the world. He's also got a lovely young family. And basically he was like, I think, someone to help me do it. And so I was like, let's go for a coffee. We had a little half an hour speed date coffee, and he showed me the putter. And I was like, right, let's just make it happen. This is the one. This is the ticket. And then in 6 months later, we're selling putters, hopefully selling them. There'll be putters for sale at Emirates Golf Course in Dubai. So to go
That's
from
an incredibly
there to
fast turnaround.
straight, you know, we duct taped ourselves to the rocket ship of fate, and we're going to see how far we go.
Very cool. Conor, you want to tell us more about your experience in golf and how you got started?
Okay, so my experience with golf is very average golfer. I love golf. Although my dad took me to the golf course and bought me golf clubs, it was primarily my granddad who got me into golf. He used to play golf a lot. He used to actually spend winters in Florida. He was one of the typical snowbirds. So they used to live in Southie in Boston back in the day. My family are Irish, although I sound like I'm related to the Queen of England, but RIP. Well, there's a new Queen now. Yeah, so I used to go out to Florida to visit him, play golf, or play golf in Ireland, play golf in Portugal. I used to love playing golf. And then about a decade ago, I just stopped playing golf. And I would play probably once a year, which, as you know, is not conducive to playing good golf. If there's anything I have learned about golf, is that you need to just play a lot of it, which is a great excuse to tell the missus. So my background was in construction. I did insurance for a while in London. I was an insurance broker, which was good fun, but again, not what I wanted to do long term. And then I managed to set up like a property management company in France. And we manage properties in different countries around the world. And then Dave came across my WhatsApp group one day, and I was like, right, this is the next thing. So I think I'm getting better at golf now. I've had a few lessons. I'm still using the same clubs that I've had for 12 years, and I'm adamant that I don't want to replace them. Although I've just upgraded my driver, but only by replacing the shaft and the grip. So I've got my 12-year-old driver head, which is an old King Cobra. It was a gift from my granddad. So I'm like, I have a great sentimental attachment to that part of to the club in its entirety. But I had a lesson in France a couple of weeks ago, and the guy was like, I was like, what's wrong with my drive? Like, I'm obviously not great, but I mean, there must be something wrong with the kit, because I keep having lessons and I keep hitting a fade. And this French guy like picks up the club and he's like, Conor, I was like, why have you got extra flex shaft? This is a club for a 75-year-old man. And I was like, well, funny you say that, because it was a present from a 75-year-old man. So I was like, right, that we'll get that sorted. So I'm now on a Fujikura 65 grams stiff shaft. So
I just want to run the guys, kind of talk the guys through it though, Conor. Yeah, I'm not sure if you remember from like, I think it was maybe like 2010, Cobra, the drivers that they released, you know, the ones with the big dimples in the crown of the driver, the Speed LD. That's what Conor's got. It's, I'm going to say it, obnoxious. The noise it makes is
the
ridiculous.
Loudest sound. I know that driver. Yeah.
And it's kind of embarrassing. Like, Conor's a good golfer now, right? But like when he gets on the drive, he tees up on the first hole, hits it, everyone at the clubhouse turns around as if someone's just shot someone. It's oh god, it terrifies me. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know exactly what that driver sounds like.
It's like a firecracker. I love it. I could duff it 80 yards or smash it 280 yards. It still sounds amazing. And that at least means that if I'm hitting my third shot 50 yards away from the tee box, at least I know that it sounded good on the first attempt. But
there's something to say for that though, because all the drivers nowadays, I'm still using a TaylorMade M6. That was something that happened in golf whilst I was away, whilst I was having my decade sabbatical. An entirely carbon construction, getting back to, design in golf, leads to such a dead noise, which is weird that the industry now is yearning for that, particularly out of the woods and drivers. Whereas when I was playing golf, very frequently, you wanted that ting, you wanted that very high-pitched screaming face. Nike as well, the Sasquatch, goodness me, that was noisy, wasn't it? So it's weird that these trends change and adapt throughout the years, and hopefully with sausage products.
So much of that has to do with feedback in the player's hands, and that probably is something that you guys played with when you designed your putters. Feedback isn't just feel, of course, it's a big part of it, but it's noise too. And in independent testing, it always shows that sound and feel are directly correlated. And then there's also the point of like exactly what you're talking about. You guys are referencing like those higher pitched drivers. You look at, if you go to a tour event, you might notice, and especially if you just watch it, their drivers sound a little different.
Okay.
And it's not just because they flatten it off the center of the face every time. It also is, these things are hot melded, which dampen the noise. So it's more of like a thwack kind of thing, and not that really high pitch ring that you used to hear. And so that plays a huge part in it. And manufacturers over the years, people didn't want to hear that high pitch ring as much, so they've dampened. TaylorMade has geoacoustic technology, and I'm sorry, TaylorMade is who I meant to say if I just said Ping. Ping still makes a great sounding club. Especially the new G440 Max K. Not a plug or anything for Ping, but
good things about that.
Some good sounding stuff.
It's interesting. I'm looking for reasons that will become clear in a year's time. I'm looking a lot at the moment at all kinds of clubs and the way that they're put together and how acoustically they're tuned, and researching all different avenues of the golfing world at the moment. And it's incredible the lengths that OEMs particularly go to make sure that their club sounds exactly as they want it to. And that is really, really inspiring to me, is how it's tuned, not just for how it physically feels, but how it audibly feels as well. And that was an important aspect for us off the face. It came from the milling of the face and how we milled the grooves, but acoustically tuning it to make it make a noise, but not too much of a noise. and playing with 50% surface area that meets the ball to 20%, and then all the way up to 80, and we settled on 50 in the end. Was the happy spot with the Pro V1 and any other soft polyurethane covered balls. We're pretty proud of how our putter sounds off the face.
So my background, I'm going to try and keep it still in design here, but my background is software development. And when I see your putter, it reminds me of just like modular design. I love it. So going forward, though, for like future iterations, lessons learned, is there anything that you're taking with you for future designs from your research and feedback, if that's something you want to talk about?
Yeah, for sure I do. Rick Shields touched on it in his video, and it's something that I was aware of, but I play golf differently to not most other people, but some other people. And something that was disturbing me with a mallet before I designed the Boudin Noir was I use a Texas wedge quite a lot. I putt from the fringe quite a lot. Greens here in Europe tend to be, because of the harsh, well, you guys are having a very harsh winter right now, so but the grass is a little bit different here, and it tends to grab the ball, grab the sole of the club a little bit. So I designed the sole of the club so that upon takeaway, after you've addressed the ball, there's minimal surface area contacting the ground as possible. So you get a very pure takeaway. So there's no, let's say, if you're a golfer that isn't necessarily the most consistent, I see it so often with amateurs, is that they drag the club back. And I just wanted to eliminate that entirely with this design. So the club actually rests, I say, nervously, so that you're encouraged to pick it up and hold it before you start your stroke. And that was a conscious thing that I made with the design. But with Rick Shields' review was the first time, it's something I noticed, but the first time someone else spoke about it was that if you put the putter down, you line it up with the ball, you step away from it, it can either open or slightly close because of the way that it rests on the ground. But this only happens when you're playing on rock solid artificial turf. When you're playing on real grass, when you're playing out there in the real world, this doesn't happen. So that's something that we will work to cater for more golfers in the future. But right now, it's a very intentional design feature of our club.
It might be easier to show them, Dave. You've got your putter there, and then you can show.
Yeah.
Because from the actual design CAD video that we've made, it's not overly obvious. But if you hold it at a kind of flat angle towards the screen, you'll see underneath how there's a very sleek curvature of the putter head. I don't know if you guys see that better now.
Yeah, it's a teardrop shape.
Yes.
It's kind of a hammer shape, so that when the turf sits here, with other mallets, successful mallets out there right now, they do have a little bit of curvature, but I saw so many people snag the back edge of the putter. So I wanted to use that kind of super yacht sculpting kind of career. It's a good use, and just pull that bottom line up so that the crown of the club sits flat, so that the sight line here sits flat as well. And it just worked in so many different ways that I just had to go for it in the end. But it does mean that when you have it in face balance, it's not an issue. When you have it in toe hang, it's not an issue. But when you have it in the low torque setting, you see here there isn't a flat footing for the center of gravity to sit on of the putter. And that was by design. It was just so that people could have a more pure takeaway. And it's interesting how that's been received. And everyone who plays with one, we've had no bad feedback whatsoever. It's just when people first pick it up, just because it's different, it's just something that they're noting. And I know. One kind of thing.
So I was going to interject and just say that the way that the product's been designed is that when you're looking down the grip, there's a white dot at the base of the grip. And then when you're in the forward press and you're ready to play your shots, that white dot should actually sit forward slightly and rest over the front white line at the front of the putter. And actually, when you know that, and when fitters and players and other people who have more experience or expertise than we do, once they've seen that and they felt it, they're like, oh yeah, of course, because they naturally would play in that forward position anyway. But it's just the fact that like we've designed this mechanism and method where once you've aligned it and once you know that, and clients who bought the products, obviously we send out kind of follow-up emails and in tutorial style information, booklets with designs of the original design drawings in them and stuff like that. It was which people have received really well. And it's just kind of educating people to be like, no, it's meant to do that. It's meant to do the kind of not sitting flat like a brick would. It's not a brick. It's something a little bit more sexy from Monaco, basically. And but I think that might be something which you may look to change slightly in the future or not.
It's not a case of changing it. It's just offering a different model that does something slightly different. I will be using this putter. the next model is great, but I will carry on using this putter because I think it's really good and I absolutely adore it. To toot our own horn, it is a very good product. So yeah, it's just something that people notice, and we will be revising that in all the models.
But what's also really fun, like me coming into this not from a design background, I like construction and property renovation, which is a much less sexy version of what Dave does. But like just working with somebody who, if you said to Dave, like, this bit of plastic, redesign it in some way that's going to be more beneficial, he has the ability to just do that. And that's what's really fun about working together. It's like any feedback we get, you guys could turn around and say, actually, we don't like this. And within like 15, 20 minutes, Dave's already designed a brand new product that is incorporating that feedback and this like iterative design ability, where we can just create products not out of thin air, but we can do it in-house just between the two of us. I think that's also really fun. So it's kind of the journey is we've got a product that we think is really, really, we like it, and we hope other people like it too. But saying that, the next one doesn't have to be just this one rehashed with some clever marketing jargon. The next product could be something completely different. And that is what's been really fun. It's kind of getting into the weeds of what do the consumers want, what is the next big thing going to be, and hopefully we will find it first. That's the adventure, and that's the kind of challenge for us as a brand. It's, can we do this once? Can we do it twice? And we want this to be a career where, Dave touched on the fact he's still working with this like great mentor and business leader that he's working with at the moment. But who knows, like maybe in the future, this could be a full-time job, or we can continue doing what we're doing now, where we are balancing our like day jobs, whilst also getting to run a kind of boutique global golf putter brand, because we've sold them now to over 80 different countries worldwide, which is pretty wild. Like South Korea, Vietnam, Australia, New Zealand, and like these guys were buying this product based on a CGI movie that we uploaded and Dave and his mate created for free. And we've got these great clients who just must really love golf. They basically paid $600 for something which could have been a scam, because it was basically just an Instagram page without any faces on it, just kind of these amazing CGI videos. And now obviously we're getting this amazing feedback and more credibility, and we want to just kind of do this for forever if possible. That's the exciting part.
Yeah, I'd love to share with you guys the prototypes, but no one's allowed to see the prototypes, not for ages. Because that's the thing that I love the most, is just cooking up crazy shit and throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. So yeah, I can't wait to share it with you guys, but just not yet.
Yeah, I loved it when you showed me your that design program, it was like stepping into the mind of the Big Lebowski kind of thing, where it was just like, honestly, it's just like so many things all over the place, and like this was version 1, and this is up to version 20, and it's just it's a lot of fun. And obviously, you said you come from like a design background yourself, and anybody who's designed anything, even if it's a new toilet by the front door of your house, just the fact of like being practical and doing something with your hands. We live in like a very digital world where a lot of people operate purely through their iPhone, which in fairness is what I do a lot of the time. The fact that you can create stuff, that is also really fun.
That's great. Yeah, I love that. I love the strive for always improving. It strikes really hard for, what I do, and even my golf game. Like I really started playing seriously a couple of years ago, and continually got lessons and continually slowly gotten better. So it's been a journey, but it's very satisfying.
Yeah. But golf's also endlessly frustrating too, and so design.
That is true.
It's like I played golf last weekend, and I played on the Jumeirah golf course, Earth course, which was where I watched Rory McIlroy play last time I was here, and I first introduced sausage golf to the guy who's now going to let us sell it in her pro shop. So it was a pretty kind of nice circular moment, and I thought I played like pretty well, and then I like obviously counted my score at the end of the round, and I was like shot like 20 over par. I was like, well, it was still a good day out. It was, what can you do? You just kind of you block out all of those balls that go into the lake, and you just remember you just cling on to that one par you get. You're like, yeah, I parred the 16th. That was a good day.
Yeah, you could be at the office, or it's always a better day out on the course. So
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's never any bad days. There's just good days and great days. So we were just like, I don't want to say kids in a candy shop, but just like the PGA show was just like cloud nine for a couple of like aspiring golf nerds who love golf so much that we basically have set up a company just so we can basically live golf. But being there, meeting people like you, having a good time, like it was a lot of fun. And we had some amazing meetings we want to work with other suppliers, shaft companies, grip companies, head covers, just to, give our clients an offering of, hey, this is our standard product, which we've designed bespoke scratch. But if you want to use a insert brand name shaft, and we're having very serious, and I think even prototypes are being made as we speak for those with like top companies now. Just like it was like a smorgasbord of like business and fun. And as we were leaving Orlando, I was like, I can't wait to do this again next year. And we got to do some kind of fun event. And obviously, we wouldn't need to invite you guys because we know you'll just be there. Because the stars would align that you would turn up for a Fujikura event, and actually you managed to walk into Sausage Golf's private event. But yeah, jokes aside, you guys will be 100% invited to whatever weird and fun event we can cook up in the next 11 months.
Cool. Awesome. Gentlemen, this has been a pleasure. I mean, an absolute pleasure just talking design and just the love of golf. So thank you so much for getting on the podcast with us, and we really, really hope to hear from you in the future.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for entertaining them.